The Ontario government is temporarily pausing evictions while the state of emergency is in effect. Officials say it's to ensure people aren't forced out of their homes during the stay-at-home order. But there are exceptions. Advocates say the province isn't going far enough to protect tenants who may be in a vulnerable situation. The Landlord and Tenant Board is continuing to hear eviction applications and issue orders, but most evictions will be postponed for as long as the state of emergency is in effect. Exceptions are urgent situations such as those involving illegal activity.
Illegal activity could range from sort of producing or trafficking drugs to violence in the home to deliberate damage.
Housing lawyer Karima Saad says the order's language on evictions is vague and adds there needs to be more provincial direction because right now, if the Landlord and Tenant Board feels a case is serious enough, they could expedite an eviction.
There needs to be some sort of guidance for adjudicators so they can sort of conduct themselves in accordance with the legislation.
Because of this, affordable housing advocate Alejandro Gonzalez Rendon is calling for evictions to be completely banned during this time.
People are losing their jobs. Many small businesses are closing. People are not being employed right now. And on top of that, they had this eviction process going on. Still the stress of thinking about, and it's not a fair process.
Saad says depending on how the board approaches this matter, there could be a wave of law changes once the moratorium is lifted. The province, like the first time this happened, is encouraging landlords and tenants to work together to avoid such an outcome.
When things get ugly, is that a realistic option?
I don't think it is. It hasn't really played out, I think, all that well if you look at the cases that are coming before the tribunal and sort of the complaints that tenants and landlords are having.
Gonzalez Rendon says the province needs to do more than what they're currently offering.
We've also given over $500 million to Ontario's 444 municipalities to provide rent banks, utility banks, and other affordable housing solutions to help people be housed.
Just because it's not being evicted a person, that doesn't mean that the rent is not piling up. That rent is still going to have to be paid later on. And not only that, but we need to look for rent forgiveness because people are going to take a long time before they can recover.
If you're a tenant and your landlord has locked you out or is starting to do so, you can contact the Ontario Rental Housing Enforcement Unit for help.